Hiya. Welcome to another video. I'm getting a bit addicted to these. I've made loads so far. Really am. But this one is something a little different. You may have, if you've watched all of my videos, or if you watched some of the videos that I've done, then you'll have heard me talk about the Timex Electric. I was going to do a write-up on this. I've actually had this about nearly a month. No, perhaps not a month. I don't know. About 2 weeks. This is a mechanical, battery-powered mechanical watch. It's not running terribly well. It's a little bit poorly. Not entirely sure whether it's actually broken, but it is running. So it's obviously, if it's running, that's half the battle won. I suppose it's salvageable. So I'm going to get into this now, and we're going to do a little, not review. I'm just going to let you look at it, really, just show you the thing. The Timex Electric. Alright, so here we have it. The Timex, I'm just trying to get the lighting correct here. The Timex Electric. And there it is. It is incredibly scratched. On the actual crystal. The crystal is also loose. If I get a zoom in on this, you can just see it spins around. So obviously it does state on the rear that it is waterproof, stainless steel back and a base metal bezel. Okay, and there it is, made in West Germany, as you can see. I'll just pop this light on and then I'll show you the numbers. Okay, sorry about that. There's a chart to try and get these numbers up here. But if you just make out there, it says 9025, which is the Timex catalogue number. The number 67, which is the movement number. Number 67 is one of the very first Timex Electric movements. The lacquer ones had different movement numbers. I do believe that the movement inside here, although I can't show it you, is actually still numbered 657 or something along those lines. It's a 3-digit number, and it still has that number on it, even though it's actually stamped with Timex on the bridge. And then 1963, just the last number there, which is 63, meaning denoting 1963. Okay, and there it is, the Timex Electric. I'm going to try my utmost now to try and get you a sound of this tick, because this ticking noise it's got a worryingly loud tick on it. Now apparently they do tick very loudly. It's just one of those things. Let me just turn this off. Oh, that's beautiful. You can see the actual gold there. Nice bit of natural incandescent lighting instead of LED white. There is some markings on this particular case. There's some wear to the bezel around the where the straps fastened. The lugs. I'm terrible at remembering words. So yeah, terrible at remembering words. Oh, So yeah, there's some lugs. The lugs are a little bit. There's some. In fact, I'm going to put this back on to show you. And this is common, obviously, with a plated watch. There you see, it's just worn away. Barely noticeable on the wrist. A little bit around the top of the bezel case, and there's some more wear in there at the bottom on the lugs, and a little bit around. Like I said, not much on the sides. Is still pretty well intact. I think the condition of the exterior belies the condition of the actual movement inside. I think the movement, and I'll just pop up the watch check that I've done on this here. I've done 2 watch checks. First, I'll show you the one. I've replaced the battery in this with the incorrect battery, the right size, but it's the incorrect battery apparently. So I'll show you the one when it arrived, the watch check from when it arrived. Partly worn, partly not worn, but terrible all the same. As you can see, I can't remember the numbers, and I don't have it in front of me. So, and then now here again, I will show you the one from when I changed the battery. But that is that's it really. And what I'm going to do now, I'm not really bothered about losing time. I'm just going to flip this over and show you the battery. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to get the battery out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little strip of paper. I'm going to do it like this. And there it is. Okay, so I've turned that on. As you can see, as you can see there, you can just about see the movement in there. The reason I can't show you this inside is because it's sealed shut. Okay, so that apparently it's glued down shut. Okay. So yeah, I don't really. The movement does come out. You need to unscrew this screw and then remove the front crystal, and the movement should fall out from the front. Should come out from the front. But yeah, so it's basically a battery powered. I'll just show you that once again to show you that it's basically a battery powered movement. If you can just see there's a couple of wheels in there. This little thing, this brass thing, is actually a balance wheel, and on one side of that is a little, I forget the word now. So this is, anyway, it's a little how-to, I suppose, on how to change the battery. So to put this back on now, what I've discovered is that you need to put it in the back first and then squeeze to the front. So you jam it in the back and then squeeze in the front. Let me do this properly, come on. There you go, and then you trap your finger under it. Now, as you can see, if you do happen to go out and purchase one of these, you'll notice I've just put the battery back in and it's not ticking. Oh dear. Well, what you need to do with these is just give it a swift horizontal turn, and that just kickstarts the. Sometimes they'll start on their own, sometimes they need a little kickstart. Okay, one of the reasons I really wanted one of these when I first saw it was the lack of the crown on the actual casing. Now, obviously here you see it's on the case back, and these just work the same way. In fact, what I'm going to do now is it's nearly 11 minutes past 8. I'm going to pull out the crown. You see there, it's actually pulled out. I'm gonna push it in for you, and then pull it back out. Okay, simple as that. And then you rotate that like you would any other crown. Okay, just pop it on the wrist now. Little wrist shot. Very thin watch, very delicate looking. Could almost be a unisex watch. And I think that's down to the fact that there's no crown on it, but I really like it. You know, under a suit jacket, this would look beautiful. So if you are looking to buy one of these, or you're thinking, oh, I quite fancy one of them now, I've seen it on this guy. Lovely champagne, like golden champagne dial. Lovely, nice. It's a nice little gold watch. But if you're looking to buy one, a lot of sellers, the lady I bought this off from Portugal, she didn't provide any numbers, so I took a punt on this really. But the price dictated that it didn't matter too much, thankfully. Even with a good service, I think I've still probably got it cheap. So there are the numbers at the top. Not important where it's made. I think a Great Britain watch, I would have liked a watch made in Great Britain more. Not too fussed that it's made in West Germany. Just means that it's probably been made quite well. It's still ticking. It's a 1963 watch, which is 54 years old. It would have been 54 years old this year, which I think's pretty good. But that's all there is to look out for, other than the general wear and tear of it. This definitely needs a new crystal, and it needs a good service. I'll have to wait and see really, and see what I can do with it. I might just sell it on with a new crystal. But I always wanted to own one, and so I bought one. In all honesty, I'll probably never get round to wear, even if I was to spend the money on, personally, if I was to spend the money on getting this nicely serviced, I don't think I would wear it very often. Even then, it would literally just sit in my watch box. So I might let it sit in my watch box, wear it every other month or so for a nice evening out, and then sell it on really. So a 54-year-old watch, and I'm really pleased that I've owned it, and I'll be able to see that I've owned it. And it's a little bit too niche for me. The thing is with these is they are of a limited lifespan. They are simply like a quartz, essentially. Once the electronic side of things go, there simply isn't anyone who can replace them. So they're a timepiece that is running out of time, essentially. And it's quite deep, and which is why I'm glad at least I've owned one that is running, and I haven't lost out of pocket too much. In fact, I might even make some money on this. Probably if I was to sell it the way it is, I'd probably make money. So there you go. It's not all about the cash, is it? Hope you enjoyed watching this, and it's giving you a few pointers if you wanted to buy a Timex Electric. You could, like I said, you could probably buy a better one that's running correctly, but you know, it's such a lovely watch. It harks back. It just reminds me of well, it's a 50-year-old watch. It just reminds me of like 60s, 70s, you know, fashion. Awesome. Okay, thanks for watching. Please do come again.